And welcome to the opening match of New Gen episode 19, because yes, we're still doing this show, even though it's been forever since the last time we did one of these. And here comes one half of the Roadhouse Soldiers, who are still the New Gen Tag Team Champions, who are, from what I've been told, they are livid after losing to Rednecks FTW for the main roster tag team titles recently. And I'm not surprised that Tommy's accompanied by ATG, because these two are like close friends and they always accompany each other, even if one of them's only on wrestling. And I know for a fact that after losing to the Rednecks, speaking, ATG and Tommy Tata really want to get another shot at them, probably in the future. Because I wouldn't blame them for being upset, because a lot of people, including me, were expecting them to beat the Rednecks. But either way, Rednecks managed to went out in the end, mostly because there was some miscommunication. Because I think like ATG accidentally punched Tommy at one point, but I don't know. And here comes Seth Rollins. Along with Roman Reigns, Seth is challenging the Roadhouse Soldiers for the New Gen Tag Team Championships at the New Gen pay-per-view SummerSlam, which will hopefully be done by sometime in February. Hopefully by the end of this month, one of the two. And like I said, I know I've been slacking when it comes to New Gen, and that's my bad. I've been dealing with a lot of crap lately. But now I'm hoping to get 3 episodes done this month for New Gen to get caught up, and then a pay-per-view, hopefully. And like I said, we're kicking off this episode with this match between these two future opponents, and I'm looking forward to it because it's going to be interesting to see these two in singles action. And let's get this one-on-one match underway between the two to start off this episode. And immediately they kick the midsection of Tommy, and Tommy blocked the punch of Rollins into a headlock, and Rollins slips out of it. And then Rollins with an armbar on Tommy, arm drag into the neckbreaker. Now Rollins with a go behind on Tommy, he flips him over. Not just putting the boots to him, but now pair of shots to the back of Rollins, knocking him in the corner. Now turns around in the corner. Now Tommy whipping Rollins into the corner, on the opposite side. Clothesline, knocking him down. Now Tommy just beating the crap out of Rollins when he's against the ropes. Now whipping Rollins into the ropes. Back body drop by Tommy. Now Tommy whipping Rollins into the other side of the ropes. Another back body drop to Rollins there. Now Tommy picking up Rollins, who just rakes the eyes of Tommy, and a drop kick by Rollins. Now Rollins with an armbar on Tommy, who reverses it with a knee to the midsection of Rollins and whiffs the kick there. Northern Light suplex by Rollins to Tommy. Now Rollins with a go behind into a suplex to Tommy there. Now Rollins with punches it. But Tommy blocks that one, responds one of his own, and more punches by Tommy. And Rollins blocks that one. Now Rollins with a headlock on Tommy. Into the suplex of Tommy Todd there by Rollins. Elbow drop by Rollins there. Now Rollins with a go behind on Tommy. Into the drop kick to the back of Tommy Todd there. And another back body drop by Tommy to Rollins when he tried to run at him. And now Tommy just putting him boots to Seth, just stomping a mud hole in him. And now Tommy with more punches, and Rollins blocks that one, responds with one of his own. And another single leg drop kick by Rollins there. Shooting star press by Rollins. And an elbow drop for good measure. Remember when Rollins used to be able to do shooting star presses and crap? Now Rollins is just older and broken down. No offense against Seth Rollins. Now Tommy picking up Rollins, nailing him with the snake eyes, and now they just both kicked each other in the midsection. Tommy just with a clothesline to Rollins there. Now Tommy picking up Rollins. Another punch to the face there, and Rollins with more punches to Tommy, and a kick to the midsection. And now Tommy with a roll up on Rollins. 1, 2, and Rollins reversed it. 1, 2, and Tommy reversed it again. 1, 2, and Rollins reverses it again. 2, and another one, reversal by Tommy. 2, and Rollins just reverses it again. 2, and Tommy reverses it once again. And these two just begin constantly reversing pin attempts, and they keep getting 2 counts. 1, 2, and Rollins now pinning Tommy. 2, and now Tommy's pinning Rollins again. 2, and Rollins just reverses it again. 2, and Tommy reverses it yet again. Are these two just going to keep rolling around like freaking, I don't know, Now Tommy with another 2 count, and Rollins reverses it yet again. Another 2 count. Can one of these two fuckers just freaking get to the ropes already? 2, 1, 2, and Rollins trying to pin Tommy again. And now Tommy trying to pin Rollins. These two just keep freaking reversing each other's pin attempts, and they keep getting 2 counts. It's a never-ending. Now we finally broke it up. Finally, how many freaking 2 counts was and pin reversals out of that? Jesus Christ! Suplex by Rollins, by the way. Somebody make a gif of that, by the way. All those freaking pin attempts, and now Rollins attacking about my announce table. Thanks a lot, Seth. Now Tommy missing the clothesline because Rollins jumped up on the apron quick enough. And now Rollins with a shot to the back of Tommy. Another shot to the back of Tommy. Just a punch. And ATG sending Rollins right back in the ring. Helping out his tag partner. An elbow to the head of Rollins there by Tommy. Now Tommy's just running around the ring. Just accidentally bumped into ATG. Rollins is just taunting like the Joker. And now Tommy with a headlock on Rollins. Just punches him down. And now Tommy just stomping a mud hole into Rollins again. Kind of only halfway effective because of the tactical gear he's wearing. And now Tommy has Rollins up for a powerbomb. And now Tommy's setting up for something here. Clothesline from hell by Tommy. And now Tommy dragging Rollins away from the ropes. Going for a cover is Tommy. 1, 2, and Rollins kicks out somehow. Punch to the face, and another one. And that one knocking Rollins against the ropes. And Tommy just getting dumped to the outside by Rollins. And now Rollins going after Tommy on the outside. Now Rollins with punches at Tommy. He just blocks that one into the submission attempt on the outside. Can't make him submit out there, Tommy. That still does damage to him. And the ref is counting while Tommy's trying to make Rollins tap out with a submission, even though he can't. He can win by submission out there. But I know it probably definitely did a lot of damage to Seth. Tommy just sending Seth back in the ropes. The ring, you know what I mean. Now Tommy's back in the ring. And now Rollins with the Seth Walker! Going for a cover is Rollins. 1, 2, and Tommy kicks out at 2 while ATG's distracting the ref. And now Rollins with a suplex into the neck breaker. Whatever the hell that was. An elbow drop by Rollins there. And just slams him against the ring. What's useless move in wrestling. And Tommy just shoving him off. Go behind by Rollins on Tommy. Flips him over again. And now Tommy setting up potentially for another clothesline from hell. Clothesline from hell, which barely got him there. And just putting the boot to him for good measure. And just slamming his knee against the ring. But Rollins blocking that punch in and punched him in the face. Kicked him at section of Tommy by Rollins. Oh god. And now Rollins suplex into the brain buster. And nailed him with an elbow drop. And Tommy just right back up. Backbreaker into the neck breaker by Rollins there. And now Rollins picking up Tommy. And Rollins whooping Tommy into the corner. Oh god, now Seth has Tommy up for the buckle bomb. And he nails the buckle bomb to Tommy. Going for a cover is Rollins. 1. And ATG's distracting the referees, trying to save his partner. And now Tommy with an armbar on Rollins. Lifts him up and slams him down on his knee. And now Tommy dragging Rollins away from the ropes. Going for a cover is Tommy. 1, 2, and Rollins kicks out again. Now Tommy with flurry punches into the headlock. Flips him over. And now Tommy going for a submission on Rollins. And Rollins taps out. And Tommy Todd with a huge assist from ATG gets the win over Seth Rollins. I don't know why Roman Reigns wasn't out here with Rollins, other than the fact that the two of them can probably hate each other's guts. For obvious reasons. But Tommy Todd gets the win in his... I know he's wrestled in singles matches before. He doesn't do it very often. But Tommy gets yet another singles win. And what a way to open up this show, or this episode of New Gen. The next match is a hardcore title #1 contender match where the Right Ranger takes on Rob Van Dam. And it's a good thing, hopefully I'll have this episode done by Monday. Hopefully posted by Monday, because then I can say that I have missed a Monday night on my show. And I'm looking forward to that match. It's going to be crazy. And yes, it's going to be Extreme Rules, because it's for a hardcore title shot. And this is a match I've been looking forward to as well, besides the main event, which is a U.S. title match between the current U.S. champion Rorschach and Dion Richards. Dion's looking to reclaim the U.S. championship once again, and Rorschach is hoping to defend it. After the war he had to wage with Eli Manning, and almost losing his job. And here comes Rob Van Dam, someone who knows all too well what it's like to compete for a hardcore title. In fact, he beat Undertaker for way back in the day, when Undertaker was begrudgingly the hardcore champion, when he was the American badass. And for those who don't remember when Undertaker was hardcore champion, look it up on YouTube. It's crazy. Period of time when Undertaker was hardcore champion. And he was one of the more dominant ones, because he was just so pissed off about having to carry around a title that was probably, in his mind, beneath him. He just would chuck the belt into the ring, and he would just beat up whoever it is that he was facing, either with his fists or with whatever weapons he could get his hands on. Now here comes a White Ranger. Competed on an episode of Rumble, which I'm in the middle of recording recently. I'm not going to spoil who he competed against or what the result was, but let's just say the White Ranger is definitely on a hot streak right now. Let's just say that. And he's looking to get a shot at the Hardcore Championship, currently held by Optimus Prime, I believe. Either one of these two guys I could see definitely holding a championship in this company. It doesn't matter if whichever one of these two doesn't end up winning this match, if they can get the title away from Optimus. Because Optimus is a tough son of a bitch. Just ask everybody he's faced so far. There's a reason why he's been hardcore champion for so long. And let's get this hardcore title #1 contender match underway between these two. And they both just tried to kick each other and they missed. That was funny. And now RVD with a headlock into the elbow to the face of Right Ranger. And RVD whipping Right Ranger into the ropes. Shot to the back of RVD by Right Ranger. Now calling up a tie between the two. Sean McCarty's going to be happy somewhere. And another one. And of course, obviously, this is a #1 contender match for the Hardcore Championship. Extreme Rules. Just like every hardcore title match we've ever had. Ever. And Rob Van Dam, which is a kick there to White Ranger. What sucks with White Ranger, though, is that his tag team partner, Red Power Ranger, is going to be competing in the match after this with Anti-Venom. And depending on how beat up White Ranger gets in this match, I don't think he's going to be able to be out here to support his partner. Since they reformed the Power Rangers tag team, from White Ranger came to New Gen from Rumble. And also RVD with a jumping kick, spin kick there. One of his trademark moves. Because even at his old age, RVD can still move like he's a freaking ninja assassin. He can just be jumping all over the place. Now, Right Ranger tried to go for a pedigree or something there, but RVD reverses it. Now RVD going to the outside. Going for the first weapon of the match. And unsurprisingly, RVD grabs a ladder. I wonder if he's going to try and do a 5-star frog splash from the top of the ladder. That would be freaking epic. But Right Ranger stole the ladder from RVD. And RVD steals the ladder from Right Ranger. And just nails him in the face of the ladder, does RVD. Now shot to the legs into our midsection of White Ranger by RVD with the ladder. And another one, this time to the legs from the looks of it. Another shot to White Ranger, just knocking him out with the ladder. Spinning leg drop there by RVD. Now White Ranger with punches RVD. Sends him into the barricade. And also, it's not false count anyway, but we don't do countouts in these Extreme Rules matches. Now RVD with an armbar on Power Ranger. And kick midsection, right, Power Ranger blocking the punch there and sends him into the corner barricade, almost. And now White Ranger with a headlock on RVD sends him into the staircase. Now White Ranger just punched the face of RVD, and RVD with a headlock on White Power Ranger, elbow to the face of White Power Ranger there. Punched the face there, by the way. And RVD with a headlock on White Power Ranger after reversing whatever he tried to go for there. Heel kick by RVD there. And now White Power Ranger with a neck breaker to RVD. Also, while we were waiting for these two to come out after the last match, my knots table got fixed by ATG and Tommy before they went to the back. Which I appreciate a lot. Kicked the midsection of White Ranger by RVD there, by the way. And RVD slamming down White Power Ranger. These two are just brawling on the outside of the ring still. And the only weapon you've introduced in this match so far is a ladder. And RVD sending White Power Ranger back in the ring. A shot to the head of White Power Ranger and a boot to the face by RVD. Now RVD wandering around the ringside area. And RVD trying to go for a weapon, but White Power Ranger cut him off. Just a stomp there to RVD by White Power Ranger. And they both just punch each other there. Running clothesline by White Power Ranger to RVD. Now White Power Ranger sending RVD back in the ring. Shot to the head of RVD and a boot to the face of RVD there by White Power Ranger. And now White Power Ranger going for a steel chair. I have expected RVD to do a dive there for a second. He usually does whenever he has a chance. Now RVD's back in the ring, while White Power Ranger sets up that chair in the corner. And White Power Ranger with a neck breaker to RVD once again. Now White Power Ranger sending RVD into that steel chair in the corner. Probably not the first time that's happened to RVD. And now RVD shoving White Power Ranger off. Running clothesline by White Power Ranger once again. Now White Power Ranger going back to the outside. And now he's tearing apart my announce table that literally just got put back together by Roadhouse soldiers before they left. Thanks a lot, White Power Ranger. Monkey flip. Somehow that put him through my announce table and that broke my table. Thanks, guys. And thanks for whoever bought and put together this table. Freaking last time I checked, we didn't order my announce table from freaking IKEA. And we sure as hell don't get them from Temu. As far as I know, unless somebody's freaking trying to play prank on me, got me a Temu freaking announce table. But either way. And now White Power Ranger going for a crossface submission. Trying to make RVD tap out. Which I don't remember RVD ever tapping out in his career. Ever. But I might be wrong. Leave it in the comments if he ever did. And White Power Ranger with a headlock on RVD. Who just slams him face first in the ring. And just a kick to the head of White Power Ranger there by RVD. And the White Power Ranger tried to get back up, but RVD cut him off. Headlock by RVD. Into the suplex to White Power Ranger. Into the pin attempt. Only one count. Drop kick there by RVD. Whatever kind of kick that was. And RVD. Northern Light suplex with a bridge into the pin. 1, 2, and White Power Ranger kicks out. Punch the face of White Power Ranger there by RVD. Chin breaker. Now RVD picking White Power Ranger back up. And RVD whipping White Power Ranger in the corner. Tried to go for something there, but he missed. And White Power Ranger just a boot to the face of RVD. And now White Power Ranger going to the outside. Grabbing a table. Oh, God. Now White Power Ranger has the table. And now he slid the table into the ring. And now RVD has the table. And RVD just sets the table down. Just punched the face of White Power Ranger there. Now RVD just punching White Power Ranger down. Now RVD going for the Rolling Thunder, which is one of his signatures, and he nailed it. Going for cover. 1, 2, and RVD gets the win off the Rolling Thunder. Surprisingly. RVD will challenge Optimus Prime for the Hardcore Championship in the future. I have to check my notes. Sorry, I'm checking my notes right now. Well, RVD will challenge Optimus Prime at the CyberSlam pay-per-view for the Hardcore Championship, according to my notes. Now we know at least Optimus Prime's going to be on the pay-per-view card, and so will RVD. He'll be challenging for the title for the first time, I believe it, ever in this company. Right, Power Ranger really put in a lot of effort trying to win this match, but RVD managed to pull one out there in the end. And RVD scoring the biggest win so far in his career in this company. Next match, like I said, is Anti-Venom taking on Red Power Ranger. And I wish Red Power Ranger luck. Even though Red Power Ranger hasn't, I believe, lost a match since he debuted. But it's Anti-Venom. And it's been a while since the last time I've seen him. Ever since and his buddies Carnage and Venom, since they formed a little symbiote group. And I can only imagine what they have in store for the company. This next match is a singles match between Anti-Venom and Red Ranger. Anti-Venom formed a group with Venom and Carnage. So they call themselves the Symbiotes. Because, if you know Spider-Man lore, Venom, Carnage, and Anti-Venom are all symbiotes in the comics. Anti-Venom's supposed to be the, anti-symbiote, but you know how it is. And Carnage and Venom used to be with Doomfist and Austin Hale in the group that they were a part of called Talon. When after Carnage and Venom turned their backs on Doomfist and Austin, I don't know if Talon's still a thing, or Austin and Doomfist are going to continue calling themselves Talon, just the two of them, I don't know. They have been having a feud that's been ongoing with the symbiotes. And this is one of the few times I've ever seen Anti-Venom actually wrestle in a match, because it's been a while since the last time I believe he had a match. And now he's taking on the Red Power Ranger, who's probably not happy about the fact that his partner, the White Power Ranger, lost to RVD in the previous match. And now here comes Red Power Ranger, looking to gain some momentum going into 2026. He's just dancing his ass all the way to the ring, like always. And before anybody asks, this is my take on a Red Power Ranger, because I'm trying to be original and I don't want to get copyrighted by the company that makes Power Rangers. But yeah, that's all I have to say about that. But this is my closest attempt at making a Red Power Ranger, like the one that was in the Mag Nation back in the day. And I think I did a pretty decent job, all things considered. And this match is difficult just to see how Red Power Ranger ended up taking on Anti-Venom, the leader of the symbiotes. I wonder if Doomfist and Austin are going to get involved. Who the hell knows? And let's get this one-on-one match underway between these two. I now have Anti-Venom already going for the anti-symbiote powerbomb. The Red Ranger going for cover already. 1, 2, and well, a 2 count already. Elbow to the head of Red Power Ranger there by Anti-Venom. And just a big boot to Red Power Ranger there, knocking him down. Anti-Venom sending a statement already. Now just punching the back of his head and slamming him face first into the ring. Red Ranger with a chop at just of Anti-Venom. Whoops him in the ropes. Arm drag by Red Power Ranger there. Now Red Power Ranger going for an armbar on Anti-Venom. Now whipped in the corner, but he tried to go for a kick, but that got blocked. And Red Power Ranger with a neck breaker, Anti-Venom. And now Anti-Venom go with a shot to the back of Red Power Ranger. And now going for another power bomb, but he got reversed into a DDT. And now Red Power Ranger with his finisher. I can't remember what the name of it was. I go for cover is Red Power Ranger 2 and kick out by Anti-Venom. Red Power Ranger going for a neck breaker, elbow to the face. Kick the midsection as well. And now Anti-Venom going for another power bomb. And he nails it. And now Anti-Venom going for a cover. 1, 2, and Red Ranger somehow kicks out. Anti-Venom blocks a kick, but it gets nailed with a kick from Red Power Ranger. Now Red Power Ranger with just another kick to the leg of Anti-Venom. And Anti-Venom blocking the kick from Red Ranger. He tripped him up. Now the Red Power Ranger's back up. Go behind by Anti-Venom. Into a suplex. Nails him with an elbow drop there, does Anti-Venom. And now Anti-Venom going for his camel clutch. Try and make him humble. And try and make him submit. Red Ranger is moving to the ropes, and he manages to somehow power out of the submission attempt by Anti-Venom. Now Anti-Venom with a headlock on Red Power Ranger, who reverses into a Russian leg sweep. Now picking him back up again is Red Power Ranger. Kick to the midsection. Running drop kick by Red Power Ranger. Now Red Power Ranger go for cover. 1, only a 1 count. Come on, Cthulhu Squirrel Red Ranger. And the elbow drop by Red Ranger there. And now another elbow drop, this time a leaping one to Anti-Venom. And block the drop kick there, does Anti-Venom, and nails with an elbow drop to the leg. Now Anti-Venom tried to give something up, but Red Ranger blocks it. Pair of elbows to the face. Reverse DDT there. Now Red Ranger springboard, which he nails. Now Red Ranger go for another one. Another springboard, which he missed. Good job. And Anti-Venom nailing that elbow drop. Drop kick by Red Ranger, dazing Anti-Venom there. Another kick to midsection. Off the ropes. And another running drop kick to Anti-Venom there by Red Ranger. Over covers Red Ranger and a rope break. Shoulder tackle by Red Ranger. And the Red Ranger going for a springboard again, which he nailed. The Red Ranger getting his eyes raked by Anti-Venom. Go behind by Red Ranger. And a slap to the back of the head. Into a headlock. Atomic drop there. And a shot to the arm of Anti-Venom there by Red Ranger. Another neck breaker. Now, Red Ranger going for another springboard, which he nails again. Red Ranger just constantly with these high-flying moves, which he keeps nailing. Anti-Venom blocks that punch there. And now going for another power bomb. And he nails it. Anti-Venom dragging Red Ranger from the ropes. Gova covers Anti-Venom. 1, 2, and Anti-Venom gets the win over Red Ranger. I took multiple power bombs, and Red Ranger surprisingly putting up a lot more of a fight than I expected. Anti-Venom gets the win over the Red Power Ranger. And I guess you could say that was a message sent to rest of Doomfist and Austin Hale there with this match by Anti-Venom. I can only imagine how Austin and Doomfist are going to respond. That's for sure. The next match is Spider-Gwen taking on Juliet Sterling. And that's going to be an interesting match, that's for sure. And then the main event is Rorschach taking on Deion Sanders, trying to retain his U.S. Championship, which Deion is trying to regain. I can only imagine what Deion is going to be wanting to do to Rorschach to get his title back, knowing him. And this is the women's singles match between Spider-Gwen from LWW Rumble taking on Juliet Sterling. If I remember correctly, Juliet was a former women's champion back when we still had the Queen of New Gen Championship, but I might be wrong. I know she's challenged for the title in the past. And now Juliet and Spider-Gwen are facing each other in this match. And Spider-Gwen is one of the biggest fan favorites in any part of the company. And she wants to and she's also from an AOT2 Women's Champion as well, but I mentioned that. And Spider-Gwen wants to prove herself on the main roster against one of the toughest women in the company, and one of the more infamous ones. And she wants to prove that she can be a champion in any part of the company, which is why she's wrestling on so many different shows. And here comes Juliet Sterling, one of the probably most despised women in the company. Mostly because last time we seen her was first class freaking you-know-what. Since the last time we've seen her, I don't know if Juliet's calmed down a bit, or if she's freaking chilled the hell out, I don't know. I know Juliet's trying to earn some momentum, or earn her way back to getting an opportunity at the championship again. And it's definitely going to be interesting to see how these two really agile women handle each other in the ring. Because, Juliet's is cheerleader, Spider-Gwen has Spider-Man powers. So, like I said, it's going to be interesting to see what happens. And I'm expecting a lot of flippy shit in this match, too. And a lot of kicks. For obvious reasons. Let's get this one-on-one match underway between these two. Calling out between the two to start. Sean McCarty's going to be happy somewhere. Spider-Gwen with a headlock on Juliet, and just a spinning kick there at Juliet. Now Juliet, the punch and tried to go for a kick, but Spider-Gwen blocked it. And there's a kick straight to the dome of Juliet by the Spider-Gwen there. Holy crap. Drop to a hold there by Spider-Gwen, doing a weird wrestling thing. Kick midsection Spider-Gwen by Juliet, and into the armbar by Juliet there on Spider-Gwen. And just punches her down. Now Juliet picking up Spider-Gwen, who blocks a punch there, punch the face, and a pair of kicks, but missed with the second one. Clothesline by Juliet there. Go behind by Juliet and Spider-Gwen. Reverse neck breaker or something here, I think it's called. Kick the midsection again, and then kick the face, and just a shot there by Juliet, just knocking down Spider-Gwen. And Juliet was putting the boots to her, but Spider-Gwen punched her off, and nailed it, drop kicked into the corner. Oh god, now Spider-Gwen with a DDT off the middle turnbuckle there. Drop kick again by Spider-Gwen. Looks like she's just like Spider-Man on the main roster. She's going to be agile and fast as hell in Spider-Gwen's case. Another spinning heel kick there by Spider-Gwen, knocking down Juliet. Now whoops her in the corner. Ring ropes. Arm drag by Spider-Gwen. There's a roundhouse kick to the head of Juliet there by Spider-Gwen. And a spinning leg drop. Spider-Gwen is just going crazy. Now drop toe hold the Spider-Gwen to Juliet. And Gwen usually wrestles on Rumble and or AOT too. But sometimes she shows up in New Gen and or the main roster. It just depends. Also this weird submission by Spider-Gwen to Juliet. And Spider-Gwen trying to go... What in the world? Well, that's one way to break someone's neck and or back. Somebody leave in the comments what move that is. And Spider-Gwen going for a suplex. I thought she was going for a pin. Now Spider-Gwen going to the outside. Now running going to the top turnbuckle. And Juliet cuts her off. And now Juliet going up the top turnbuckle. Hurricane run to Spider-Gwen from the top turnbuckle. And Spider-Gwen just no-sells that and just trips her up. Clothesline again by Juliet. Now Juliet flipping neck breaker, or neck snap, one of the two. And just, well, there's that cheerleader, making flexibility by Juliet there with that kick. And now just slamming her against the ring with her foot against her back. And again, just slamming her face first against the ring with Juliet, Spider-Gwen. And then a kick midsection. Just more kicks. And a weird thrust strike there by Juliet. Into another... Oh, nope, I thought it was a suplex, but she was going for a suplex face buster. Now Juliet going for a springboard, and she nailed it. Now Juliet dragging Spider-Gwen away from the ropes. Now going for her signature that she likes to use. Trying to make Spider-Gwen submit. But Spider-Gwen manages to get out of it. Now Juliet setting up for Lollipop Chainsaw. Clothesline by Juliet there. And now Juliet going to the outside again. Springboard! Oh, she missed. Good job. And now Spider-Gwen trying to go for her own submission. Turnabout's fair play, I guess. And now Spider-Gwen just with a stomp in midsection and the clothesline again. And now Spider-Gwen with a headlock on Juliet, who whips her in the ropes. Hurricane on it into a pin by Juliet. 1, 2, and Juliet gets the pin out of nowhere off the Hurricane Rana. I did not expect that, but Juliet caught Spider-Gwen with that Hurricane Rana into the pin attempt. And for one of the first matches she's had since the last time we've seen her, Juliet scores a pin. And this was actually a pretty decent match going too. Of course, Juliet made quick, somewhat short work of Spider-Gwen. And the next match is the main event U.S. Championship match between Rorschach and Dion Richards. I would help Regan Rorschach and hopes to retain that championship, especially since Dion's a 2-time champion already. Hopefully Dion doesn't murder him. And this match is the main event of this episode of New Gen, where Rorschach defends his United States Championship against freaking Dion Richards, who's a former 2-time U.S. champion. And his first reign is 138 days, and then he lost and then won it back or some time afterwards, and then he lost that belt after a shorter period of time to Eli Manning, who ended up losing the belt to Rorschach after he threatened to put his career on the line just to get an opportunity. And here comes the current United States champion, motherfucking Rorschach. And I believe this is Rorschach's second defense of the title, I believe. I have to go back and check. I just know it's been so long since the last time I've seen Rorschach, and probably like the entire roster of the New Gen side of things. It's not even funny. That's why I'm glad we're mostly focusing on New Gen this month, because we have been slacking when it comes to these guys and girls. Like I said, Rorschach's hoping to retain his title against Dion, but I I have my doubts if Rorschach's going to be walking out of here with this title, because Dion is one of the toughest sons of bitches in this company. When he wants something, he will freaking bulldoze through anybody to get it, especially if it's a title. And it wouldn't be the first time he's beaten somebody for this title. If Dion somehow manages to win this match, it would be his third time holding the U.S. Championship, which is the most times anybody's ever held a championship in either part of the company. It would be crazy though, Dion being a 3-time U.S. champion. Especially since he's one of the guys in this roster who I feel like could be a world champion. Right now he's been mainly focused on the U.S. championship as of lately. And here comes Dion. Somebody who got, I will remind everybody, has had a long-standing issue with Xavier's King on the main roster, and still has yet to ever show any appreciation for getting this job in this company he's had since he first showed up. All because him and Xavier's had some issues back in the day when they were both on the independent scene and or in WWE. But that's a story for another time. Now, Dion's making his way to the ring, clearly determined, wanting to take Rorschach's head off and win the United States Championship. All I know is that Dion has one of the most devastating power bombs in the company, the Dion Bomb. As of course he's basically our version of Batista, but you know. He's not, he doesn't, as far as I know, intend on leaving anytime soon. Unlike Batista, who left like how many times in the span of a decade? Anyway. This match is going to definitely be interesting, that's for sure. And this, which is weird to say, the current challenger for the U.S. Championship, former 2-time champion, Dion Richards. And there's the current champion who had to fight his ass off and almost lost his career trying to get this belt, motherfucking Rorschach. And that U.S. Championship has been held by quite a few people in this company. That's why it's one of the most prestigious mid-card belts we have around here. Just like the main roster United States Championship, which up until recently was held by Damian King, but I'm not going to talk about that right now. And it is the most prestigious U.S. title ever. And let's get this United States Championship match underway. Work hard. And Rorschach, with the Rorschach test, immediately to Dion. Going for coverage, Rorschach. 1, 2, and only a 2 count. And now Rorschach with an armbar on Dion into the drop toe hold. And now Rorschach just punching the back of Dion's head, slamming him face first against the ring. Rorschach is not fucking around in this match, I'm telling you that much. And Dion whips him in the corner. And Dion, with a running power slam, almost putting him in the corner. Against the post, I mean. And then Dion with an armbar on Rorschach. And there's a kick to the arm and a shot to the arm as well, Rorschach by Dion. Kicked in midsection again. And there's a pair of punches by Dion there, and Rorschach blocks that one. Into the armbar, into the drop toe hold. And now Rorschach just punching the hell out of Dion, just slamming him face first against the ring again. Drop kick by Rorschach. And now Rorschach just sitting on Dion's leg. Kind of. And Rorschach just another punch to the face of Dion. He just whips him in the corner. Running shoulder attack, almost like a spear on the corner there. And now Dion just grinding his knee against Rorschach's face. Now Dion with a headlock on Rorschach, I almost said Austin here. Running boot to the face. Now Dion dragging Rorschach away from the ropes. Gumbo covers Dion, not even 1 count. I still can't believe that Rorschach nailed one Rorschach test and almost got a 3 count. Suplex by Rorschach. Did I tell you how devastating the Rorschach test move is when it almost gets a pinfall immediately? Now Rorschach going for a camel clutch. Make him humble. Make him tap. I didn't even get to say ask him. And now Rorschach tried to go for a DDT or something, but Dion reversed it into a Russian leg sweep. And now Dion just punching the shiznits out of Rorschach through his mask. Which, remember correctly from the Watchmen movie and the series, his mask, it's like supposed to be like the Rorschach test thing, but it's for some he's able to move and reshape itself, at least whatever the hell that black stuff is that's in his mask. And Rorschach just punching the hell out of the back of his head. And now Dion's pissed, just throwing a wild haymaker there. I don't even want to know what that was, but Rorschach just with flurry of punches tried to go for a drop kick again, but Dion deflected it and just stomped on his arm. Now Dion with a headlock on Rorschach. Rorschach reversed it into a drop kick to the back. Forearm there by Rorschach, knocking down Dion. And now Rorschach with another suplex to Dion. And now Rorschach picking up Dion. Reverse wheelbarrow suplex, whatever the hell that is, by Rorschach there. Now dragging Dion away from the ropes. Going for cover. 1, 2, and Dion kicks out again. Kick midsection. Arm drag by Dion there. And now Dion just beating the shit out of Rorschach. Every time Rorschach hits anything to Dion, just pisses him off more. And now Dion setting up for something here. And now Dion has Rorschach for the Dion Bomb! And now Dion dragging Rorschach away from the ropes. Going for cover as Dion. 1, 2, and Rorschach kicks out. Now Dion just more punches and Rorschach blocks that one. Go behind, also by Rorschach, and another drop kick to the back. Khan able to tie up 4 minutes into this match. Sean McCarty's going to be happy somewhere. Into a headlock. German! Nope, just slams him face down. I thought he was going for a German suplex. Dion just punches him off. Flapjack by Rorschach to Dion there. Now Rorschach just stomping Dion's arm there. And now Rorschach going for a cover. 1, only a 1 count. And now Rorschach with an armbar on Dion, who gets out of it and whoops him in the corner. With Dion with a shoulder tackle again. And now Dion grinding his knee against Rorschach's masked face. Now dragging Rorschach away from the ropes is Dion. And Rorschach is back up into the headlock by Dion there, who just whips him in the ropes. Boss Man Slam or Black Hole Slam, depending on who you ask, by Dion there. Now Dion just raining down more punches to the masked face of Rorschach there. And now Dion flips him over, going for a submission, but Rorschach is too close to the ropes. And now Dion just another punch. And Rorschach going for another one of these suplexes that he likes to use. When I've been told he calls out the Watchman. Going for covers Rorschach again. 1, 2, and Rorschach gets the win of the Watchman. Rorschach somehow managed to retain his U.S. Championship over Dion, surprisingly. Tells you how determined Rorschach is to hold on to this U.S. Championship. Now we have to wait and see who's going to challenge him next, which will probably be at CyberSlam. That's a match I'm looking forward to see whoever it is that faces Rorschach next to the U.S. Championship, and I just wish whoever that is luck. This match was crazy. In a good way, kind of. And I'm happy that Rorschach managed to retain his championship. I know that for a fact that Dion's going to be livid when he comes to about the fact that he lost. If you guys like this video, like, comment, all that stuff. I'll see you in the next episode of New Gen. And trust me, there's going to be 2 more episodes and then a pay-per-view this month. But I also have some stuff done for the main roster, but as well. So we have to work on that. Anyway, I'll see you guys later. Peace! And before anybody bitches about my comment about this U.S. Championship being the most prestigious one, thinking that was a joke.